I'm sharing the meal plan I used to lose 30 pounds in 70 days. It's the grocery list, it's the meal plan, it's a 1,200 calorie deficit, and it's about 120 grams of protein each day to help you meal plan fast and healthy. Stay tuned. As a woman in her 60s who struggled the entire decade of my 50s to lose weight and body fat, I'm sharing nuggets of wisdom that I wish I knew sooner. One of them being healthy meal planning. Learning to eat foods that my body would use and not store was key to me finally being able to drop the weight and maintain that weight loss. This is how I did it, and this is how you can do it too. I was on a 1,200 calorie deficit diet plan, and it was 3 meals a day, and I could have a couple of healthy snacks. You're looking to buy whole food ingredients and to cook those yourself. I chose high protein, complex carbs, no alcohol, very limited sugar. I would put it in my coffee. And because I was making the foods myself, I wasn't adding sugar and I wasn't buying foods that already had sugar built into them. No canned foods, things like that. I think people get confused about carbohydrates, so I'm going to read this to you. Simple carbohydrates are made up of 1 or 2 sugar molecules, making them easy for the body to break down and use for quick energy. So that's like sugar, honey, candy, white bread, sugary drinks like soda, and even fruit juice. And you don't want that in your diet because it doesn't leave you full. So complex carbohydrates, complex carbs is what you want. They consist of longer chains of sugar molecules, which take longer for the body to break down and provide more sustained energy. Whole grains like quinoa, vegetables like sweet potatoes, broccoli, spinach, Brussels sprouts, legumes like lentils, and beans and chickpeas, but be careful with the beans. I would get the dried beans and cook them yourself, or if you do buy a can, rinse them with water very well. Not only do they have sugar, but they have salt, so I just kind of prefer to get the dried beans. Anyway, and then oats. Oatmeal is a wonderful thing. So if you're on a 1,200 calorie deficit and you're worried about what I can and can't eat, I think it's easier to say I want to eat lean proteins like chicken or fish. You can even eat salmon because it's so healthy and it has the right kind of fats that you want. Here are a few of the meals that I cooked, and you can figure out meals that you like as well. But this is just to kind of get you started. You can download it at my website. It's free, AnnEvolving.com. And it is different meals that you can have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that fall within the 1,200 calorie deficit if you're weighing it, because that's important. And I also have a couple of snacks. What I would do is I'd probably just pick a couple of them a week. Then you would meal prep and batch those meals for the week. And that's in another video. So you can watch that one next. And part of it is making that decision so you're not guessing what am I going to eat. For this in particular, it could be I'm going to have a cup of oatmeal and I'm going to put cinnamon on it with a banana. Cook it, pack it, put it in a meal prep kit, and put it in the refrigerator. That way, when you're ready for breakfast, you pop it in the microwave, 30 seconds or a minute, and it's good to go. Then you do the same for lunch. Do I want to have a hamburger patty and broccoli? Do I want to have a green salad with shredded chicken on it? And then for dinner, same thing. Roasted chicken with spaghetti squash and marinara. Then I have a grocery list. And on the grocery list, it tells you what to buy for those options. For me, if I wanted to do stuffed bell peppers one week, and I wanted to have a sweet potato with that, or I wanted to do hamburger patties with broccoli, or I wanted to do cantaloupe with cottage cheese, all of those would be on your grocery list. And you would just buy everything there. And what I do, which I think is an expert tip, is I do all of my grocery shopping online. Now, I do this for a couple of reasons. I don't like going to the grocery store, but I also get distracted and I get a little anxious because there's so many choices. So what I do is I use my Target app, and there are several other apps that you can do, and I pay for the annual membership so that I get free delivery. Once you build a shopping list, then your cart is recommended to you and you can just shop really quickly off of it. So it kind of keeps you on track and it keeps you from breaking the routine of what's healthy for me, what meals do I want, and that way I don't get overwhelmed at the grocery store and I don't get distracted with all the things that I don't need, that I probably want. It just keeps me very focused on healthy eating. You definitely want to aim for 30 grams of protein per meal, and that will also help you feel full longer. It's really not that hard. I know that's 1 cup of cottage cheese. I also know the 100 grams of chicken breast is 30 grams of protein. That's really easy to do. And if you want to do a little more than that, then you'll be getting closer to 40 grams of protein for lunch. The same thing goes for dinner. If you do a 1/4 pound hamburger patty, that's about 25 grams of protein. The other thing I do for breakfast is I get the Premier protein powder, and that is 30 grams of protein for 2 scoops. I will do 2 scoops of that in my milk and froth it up, and then I will put that in my coffee. Before I even start my day, I have had 30 grams of protein in my coffee. But there are a lot of other ways to get protein. There are a lot of other foods. I'll put a list of some of those down below if it's helpful. If you know your meals in advance, I would create a list of them like I have and weigh out the portion of the meat to the protein and just identify in an afternoon maybe 10 different meals for breakfast, lunch, and dinner that you like, that can keep you within that calorie deficit or your calorie limit. Now that I'm on weight maintenance, I still do about 1,200 calories, but I also allow myself to not just stick to it. Like I can treat myself more. I kind of use the 80-20 rule. So if you think about it, 8 meals I will do just right, and maybe a couple of times I will treat myself. I'm not sliding back into any bad habits of always treating myself, which is what I used to do. I just constantly would eat food and treat myself. Once you get on that plan and once you have things in your refrigerator that are ready to go, you will find yourself more willing to go in there and pull that instead of hunting around and grabbing food and boredom eating, which you can watch this video next, and it gives you some great strategies to help combat that as well. See you in the next one.